Hi. Hello? Hello? Alright, so let's just go ahead and get into this. So, I know what you're thinking, Nick. Why haven't you posted... Well, actually, first off, hello to YouTube world. This is Nicholas Montes here, and welcome to another YouTube channel, everybody. I know what you're thinking. Why haven't you made a YouTube video in over 2 weeks or whatever? I'm very sorry. I've kind of been busy with school, and it's also kind of made me unmotivated to do things, and I'm also going through a mini situation right now. Nothing for you guys to worry about. Just me. It's honestly not even that big, to be honest, but I'll deal with it in the near future. But, in this video, I wanted to do a live since I don't really have enough time to be making 3 videos. I mean, it's a 3-day weekend. It's Labor Day. And I was kind of busy today, so I procrastinated a lot, but I'm getting back up there. And I'm going to do everything I can to do good and to definitely help out. With that said, with this live, I am compacting it down to about 3 things. I'm not really going to have any content chapters. This is really going to be a quick thing to get some videos out of the way, and then maybe next week, sometime this week, I'll be posting some other videos, and we'll be getting back into the groove of things to start out with a new month, since I think August was... It was a pretty crazy month, but I'll explain more about that, in my monthly live stream that I do, 6-month live stream that I'll be doing in December. I'm also kind of sick, by the way. So, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to kick things off doing my end of the month list. We didn't do that, so we're going to do this. And we're going to start with first-time watches, since it's a lot more fun to talk about first-time watches, since I don't think the movies I saw for new releases were that much fun. So here we go. And I actually saw 30 of these, so bear with me. Hang on. Actually, what if I move over here? Will that do good? Actually, no. Alright, that works. Alright. So coming in number 30 for 30 watches. If you want to go look on this list, if you have Letterboxd, go check out on that list. But on that app, then this is where you'll be hearing it from me. 30 Sex and Violence with Family. This is a older Jim Carrey movie. Not my choice of what I wanted to watch. I'm trying to watch Jim Carrey movies, so naturally, it was one of the movies that came up. 29 Howard the Duck. I was watching Fox Marvel movies since Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Wanted to check it out, but only because of how bad it is. 28, Two-Fisted Tales. I believe this is a Robert Zemeckis movie, so don't blame me. 27, Return to Oz, a Wizard of Oz movie. 26, Tom and Jerry and the Wizard of Oz. It's basically like the Tom and Jerry version of of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, except with Tom and Jerry in it, so take that as you will. 25, Fantastic Four, the 1994 version, has a pretty good score, but wasn't really a big fan of that one. 24, Are We Done Yet? Very disappointing sequel, very messy, and, not just in story, but also, literally. Pretty crazy. 23, Thor, Tales of Asgard. Why? I don't really want to have a whole movie focusing on young Thor. That's not interesting to me. 22, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. A fine Doctor Strange movie. I preferred the ones from the MCU. 21, Back to the Future 3. To be honest, I like time travel stories, but for some reason, Back to the Future has never been one of my favorite franchises for some reason. But everybody else seems to love them. 20, After the Wizard. A pretty fine Wizard of Oz movie. 19, The Punisher from 1989. Dolph Lundgren is good, but the rest of the movie is kind of meh. 18, That's My Boy. I actually watched this movie because I was stressed out about school, and we didn't really have anything else to watch, so decided to watch it, and it was pretty good. 17, Punisher, 2004. Good action movie, but Thomas Jane is way too small for the role. 16, Beetlejuice. Gotta get ready for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice next week. 15, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. A pretty good sequel. 14, 14, Uncle Buck. Another movie that I watched the week I was stressed out about school, and it was actually kind of fun. 13, Starsky and Hutch. A pretty good little film directed by Todd Phillips. I enjoyed it. Number 12, When Harry Met Sally. This was my fall pick to get into the fall movie season. 11, Cop Car. A film from John Watts. I enjoyed it. I heard this is one of his best films. That was also from the director of Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. 10, Back to the Future 2. Pretty good sequel, but still not a big fan of it, though. 9, Punisher, Warzone. This is the definitive Punisher. Besides John Berthal. This is the definitive Punisher. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. 8, Clown. Pretty good one from John Watts. I liked it. 7, Allegiant. Not really the best way to end the Divergent series, but I did like it. 6, Grown Ups. It's very stupid, much like White Chicks, but that's what kind of makes it fun, is it brings up a lot of these different comedic actors, and to me it makes it fun for that. 5, School for Scoundrels. Just a very entertaining, funny movie. 4, Robots. A film from Blue Skies that I've been wanting to check out for quite some time, and overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. Of course, the cast is great. It also has a lot of, sexual humor that when you watch... If you watched it later on... If you watched it then, you wouldn't understand it, but now I understand it, and I'm like... that was actually pretty crazy, and the fact that the robot actually was getting crushed on over by 2 robot girls, that's actually insane. 3, Next Avengers, Heroes of Tomorrow. So this is part of the Marvel animated universe with, Ultimate Avengers and the Invincible Iron Man movie, and I finally watched Next Avengers, and it was actually pretty great. I love that they actually captured the story of the Avengers being these characters of legend, and Ultron being this emotionless villain. But also, I like the way they actually did some of the characters to where they didn't actually know who their parents were. They didn't really know who their parents were, but then you have stuff like Iron Man suiting up in the suit, and it works. It's like it does something so unique with the Avengers being legends so uniquely. And honestly, I would love to see a sequel to this. Do this new team of Avengers win in the future? I would love to see that. Number 2, The Hangover. This is a movie that I actually just saw yesterday, and it's very fun. It's a very funny movie, very entertaining, very enjoyable. The movie is just very funny. It's directed by Todd Phillips. This is the known comedy that is known for being the best. I've seen it before, but not the full thing entirely. But now that I've finally seen it, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty great. So it's a number 2 on my list. But the real number 1 first time watch of August 2024 is Barbershop 3, A Fresh Cut. So I started watching the Barbershop movies back in July. Really enjoyed the first 2. Heard some pretty great things about the third one. But I didn't really know what to expect going into this third one. And what makes it so great is that it feels like Barbershop, but just a modernized version of it. And that it doesn't feel like a lot of things have changed. Ice Cube still looks like he did back in 2002, back in 2004. Ice Cube doesn't age. But what also makes this movie great is I love the new cast that they added here with, I forgot that guy's name, as well as Nicki Minaj. They're pretty great in this movie. But I also love the comedy that this movie does, whether it's like commenting on that we had a black president, and so people get to make jokes off that, and Cedric the Entertainer's character gets to make jokes that he once cut Barack Obama's hair. That was awesome. But I also love the way that it commented on like issues in black society, and people were in gangs and getting shot up at, and it's like that was real stuff that was happening during that time, and I'm like, this was great. I do wish we could have actually seen some gang stuff, like people getting shot up or someone getting killed, but we happen to get someone killed off screen. I feel like if they actually showed us someone getting killed and like going for the fourth, breaking that tension, I think it would have made a bit of a more impactful film rather than the assumption of this kid possibly joining a gang or whatever. Besides that, I think it was a great conclusion to this trilogy, and it really did a great job of concluding this trilogy, but also commenting on present-day black culture. I really loved it, and it once again summarizes why barbershops in black communities, but mostly in general, can bring people together in special ways. And that's it. That's for the first-time watches. Now we're going to head on over to the August 2024 films, the new releases, if you will. Number 11, and I've seen 11 of these, so this will be a much shorter list. Number 11 is the Sandy Cheeks movie that came out on Netflix. It was kind of crazy about this movie because this entire movie, I was confused as to why it has a release date this year. Because I remember seeing on my illegal website or whatever, and I was like, wait, so this movie got leaked? That is insane. But besides it getting leaked, which is embarrassing, this movie is not that great. Now, I will say from what I saw when it got leaked, I was like, what the hell is this? Why does Sandy Cheeks look like that? I don't really like the whole 3D animation look. I think SpongeBob movies and stuff like that just fit for being 2D animated. It just works for that effort. The fact that you have a whole story of SpongeBob and all the characters they're like getting taken from these people, and the whole story with these humans plotline, it's very weird. And honestly, I can understand why everybody does not like the new version of SpongeBob. Now, now some parts of it, like back in 2015, it worked with the SpongeBob when them becoming superheroes and whatnot. But it really did not work in this one. It went too far, and it almost felt too long that I was just waiting for it to end. So, therefore, now I enjoyed some parts of it for some of the animation and some hijinks, but I didn't really enjoy this song all that much, so it comes in number 11 in last place. Number 10, Borderlands. This was probably the most hated movie of the whole year, besides, Madame Web, and I can't think of another movie that was hated this year, any other movie that was hated this year. And I enjoyed parts of it. I mean, it's not great, but I had fun with it. That's all I can really say about it, though. Number 9, Watchmen Chapter 1. I don't really know if anybody liked this movie, but I thought it was a cool animated piece of violent action from DC. I thought it was entertaining for the best. 8, Blink Twice. So this was a film that was not Rachel Zegler. It was the girl that played Black Cat in, not Black Cat, Catwoman in the Batman. It's her directorial debut, and also I think Channing Tatum's in here, who is also engaged to her. The movie was fine. I thought for a directorial debut, it had good style. Kind of want to rewatch it again because I heard some good things about it, but yeah, that's it. 7, White Bird. So this is an important movie. If you remember the movie Wonder, that was basically about this boy who was deformed. He was born deformed. He got like 27 surgeries when he was born, and none of them could make him perfect. And that was one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years or so. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's also one of the most relatable movies to me because, obviously I'm not deformed, but one thing I can relate to with that movie is making friends. And in my elementary school years, and even in middle school, I suffered with that, in making friends and talking to people and stuff, and I always would get so bullied. And I watched this at a very important time in my life, and so when they announced they're making a sort of prequel but sequel to it, start focusing on Julian, the bully from it, I was like, okay, there's an interesting story to tell there. And it's not the best. I mean, if you like it, they do mention something about Beecher Prep School and seeing pictures from it. There's some fun in it, but I don't really like seeing this whole backstory of Julian's family to give him comfort or whatever. Like, I don't really care about that. I'd rather just see a story about Julian, like, learning to become a better person. Part of the first Wonder was to explore a story about a boy finding his place in the world. And we saw that. Now, what is Julian's life like in the world? And I feel like that this movie could have explored why people bully, and how can people become better than that. So I would have really liked to see a story like that rather than diving into his parents' backstory or whatever. 6, The Crow. Yeah, it's fine. Some cool action. I need to see the original though. It's okay. 5, The Killer. Good action movie. Nothing else. 4, Trap. An M. Night Shyamalan movie. It was fine. My sister saw it in theaters and she thought it was pretty good. 3, The Union. And this was actually a really fun movie for me. I liked it. A lot of cool action. Halle Berry is a badass, and also Mark Wahlberg is good. 2, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Very fun movie. Really enjoyed that one. But coming in first place, which was something that I never thought I would actually put on here, Alien Romulus. So I don't know if I did a review on this movie, which I didn't think I was going to, and I actually really loved Alien Romulus. Now, I'm not an Aliens guy, so don't expect any Aliens love for me in the future, but this to me was a very well-made movie. Part of the great thing about this is I have zero knowledge, I have zero love for the Aliens franchise, mainly because when it comes to these earlier movies like Predator, Aliens, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, one thing you gotta know, I'm not a big fan of them just because I don't really like the earlier practical effects. They're just kind of weird. That's why I'm not a big fan of the earlier years of Star Wars. I'm more a big fan of the newer versions of Star Wars because they just look better. And with this movie, I think that the director, Fed Alvarez, he found a way to actually make it work to where he was a fan of Alien, and so he was able to capture the film like the classic Alien movies, to where the opening of the movie feels like a classic, not even just an Alien movie, but an older movie. And that was cool to get that something like that in 2024. But also, all the horror stuff was great. Some of the characters were great. Some of the set pieces, the horror set pieces were great. And so it was very well set up. And it was honestly a thrill on the edge of my seat. So I really enjoyed this one. And this was, much like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, this was just a very cool experience to watch on screen. I just loved this movie. And that is it for the end of the month list. We're gonna be talking about my Labor Day movie, which was let me pull it up here. Harlan Harlan County, USA. So this was my this was my Labor Day pick for this year. And here's the thing you got to realize about Labor Day. Between Memorial Day, Labor Day, and Veterans Day. So Memorial Day is to celebrate the people that died in the war in the military. Veterans Day is to celebrate the people that served in the military. And I don't think Labor Day has anything to do with the military-wise. But the thing that it has to do with is the people that worked their asses off to do stuff for us and to make land and such. And for me, Harlan County, USA kind of represents of what all that is. And I think it did it pretty well. It's kind of long for an hour and 45-minute movie, but it was pretty good. My score is on Letterboxd right now if you want to go check it out. My Letterboxd isn't really interesting unless you want to see lists and my ratings on movies, then yeah, you're not going to really find any reviews. You'll mostly find my thoughts on movies on here. But that is it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will most likely be this Friday or Saturday. Alright, see ya.